let's get stuck in.
Okay.
So thank you for your long drive to come in and come and see us. I will let you do your own sort of intro because I'm never very good at introducing somebody else or myself, but
it's not my forte either.
I'll leave it up to you.
So I am Fliss from Felicity's Coffee Shop, and we are based all the way over on the Wirral. And I've had it nearly 8 years now, which is mental. It's just been so quick. And I have a couple of businesses on the Wirral. And I've come all this way to meet you guys, which I'm excited about. And this is my first podcast.
Which is two things exciting about that. First podcast, and you've come all this way. So thank you for coming in. And it's nice to have people like that is new and exciting for as well, because it's still exciting for us.
Yeah.
Like this is I don't know, 8th I think now. But
amazing.
It's still like I still get the nervous.
Yeah, you get definitely.
And all that sort of stuff. So it's still fun and exciting. So you're not the only one that has the nerves. So it's all good. So let's go through the journey of, because I know you said you've got a couple of businesses and there's other things there, but let's start from the start.
Yeah.
How and why did the coffee shop start?
Okay, I'll take you back to like age 9. Okay, so do you remember those?
That's a young way to start a coffee.
Honestly, I did not have the coffee shop at age 9. That would be good. Do you remember the Fisher Price tents, like the yellow and red? It's like a vivid memory. I got a pop-up tent and I was age 9, and I thought, I want to create like this shop. So I remember setting it up at the front of our driveway, and I charged the kids in the local area 20p to come and have a look around our garden, which was literally going through a bush, and I created this rock museum. I was dead like proud of myself, and I'm not joking, I just winged it. I walked through and I was like, look at these rocks, made it up completely. I remember this buzz of like them paying for this service, and I remember thinking, oh, that felt really good. And then fast forward, I was in school and I was not academic, and I was selling Oreos, the biscuits, Oreos. And I was doubling my money because I got them from Costco, and I was like, this is working. And again, I got this same buzz of earning money and like working out how I could undercut the tuck shop. So I got into a lot of trouble, to be fair. And fast forward, I went into the hospitality industry and I worked my way up through Sainsbury's. That was my first proper job because, like I said, didn't do uni. I ended up landing a cafe management role. And to be honest with you, I was like, oh, I'm not going to enjoy it. It's not for me. Absolutely loved it. And then I was young. I was 19 and I was running quite a lot at Sainsbury's, and they were almost getting me to go towards a regional cafe role, but I was young, and I thought, I'm going to go travelling. That's it. I need to have a bit of a blowout. So I went travelling, and I literally was like, right, I want to start my own business. I've wanted to from a young age, don't know what in, let's just go for it. So took the plunge, had the opportunity to open Felicity's, and that's how it all sort of came about. And we opened 8 years ago, our first site.
So was it just that decision was that quick and easy of, I want to do it?
Impulsive a little bit, yeah, definitely. I think as entrepreneurs, you can be quite impulsive. Yeah. And it was like, it felt like that was my one opportunity to just at least go and try it.
How did it come about? Was it just talk me through that thought process? Because I think a lot of what people that we talk to and people in and around starting a business space or growing the business, it's when do I do it? How do I do it? Why is now the right time? Or do I need loads of money? Or do I just, like, everyone has a different take.
100%. And I think that's really interesting because, like, you do think there's never going to be a right time to fully submerge yourself in it. And for me, it was a case of it's now. I'm 26, 27, which I think is a really hard age. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And it was a case of, this is my opportunity. I've got to take on that debt, that business loan, and at least give it a go just to satisfy that I've at least tried.
Yeah.
But there's never going to be a right time. But all I would say to people that were starting out is go and learn that craft a little bit, go and learn that industry, because I think so many people go into businesses a bit blind and don't have a clue and go, oh, you just be drinking coffee all day. Yeah. I had that backbone of what I was realistically going into.
So you got a business loan. Is that how you started? What was that process like? Because me being more of a service base, all I really need is a laptop and kind of a screen. And that's an alien thing for me, because I didn't have to have a premises. I didn't have to have stock. I didn't have to really worry about employing people until I needed to. So what was that process like? I guess you got to get a business plan put together, take that to the bank.
Yeah.
What was that all like?
So that's probably your hardest part, I think, to start off with, because one, if you're going into the coffee shop industry, it's seen as a risky business because your overheads are a lot higher, like you said. So you do have to have a business plan in place. You do also have to have a bit of financial backing. And also the money goes so quickly. Like the loan I took out was gone by, I reckon 50% of it was gone by the first day, because I had to buy existing stock. I had staff straight away. It's your costs and everything. So that puts that pressure on day one. You have to start trying to look at bringing that income back in. So for me, I didn't even have a day where the cafe was closed. I was straight in. Wow. Off we go. This is it. We haven't got the money. We have to start rolling with it straight away. And it's quite hard, definitely.
Was the process difficult? Did you have to jump through a lot of hoops?
Yeah, I think any business loan is difficult, because I think any business you're going into, especially if you're a new business, it's seen as high risk because you've got nothing to back you up. So the risk is high. But you can get other people to back you, or you can borrow from friends and family, which, always get a written agreement with that. But I do think that's probably a more viable way of doing it, and they put a percentage on, or a lot of friends and family will want you to succeed. Yeah. So it's probably a better route than the bank, to be honest.
Yeah, I found it really weird. So when we wanted to start the podcast, all this equipment obviously costs money, right? Yeah. So I thought, if I just get a loan, go to bank. I've been doing it. I own the business for 4 years. I've got all this sort of stuff that can show that I've got money coming in, and we're not dependent on the money if it doesn't work. So I kind of reached out to a couple of banks and put a business plan together, and the stuff they wanted to go through.
I know.
I was like, this is
sometimes
ridiculous.
It is just not worth it, honestly.
And I didn't bother. I didn't bother in it. I only wanted a couple of grand just so it kind of took the sting out of it a little bit. Yeah. And I thought you could pay it back over 3 months, 6 months, whatever.
It's ridiculous.
And I just thought, they called me and it was, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. And I was like, do you know what? Forget it. It's fine.
I've done that before, yeah. I've literally gone, forget it. I'll find it myself. Yeah. Because honestly, it's painful. And I think the biggest thing for me now, whenever I'm taking on new businesses and stuff, I do try and self-fund as much as I can, because it's just hard work trying to get money out of a bank, and they're not on new business side. They're not on new startups or anything like that. Even though you've got an existing business, then they're not interested. They're really not. It's hard.
And the way they kind of worded it was like, well, if you've got all these, you've got a business and it's going fine, why do you need it?
Yeah.
And my view on it is I can get...
to scale up.
Yeah. I want to do more. Yeah. I want to... It's not bad to borrow money so you can pay it back and all this sort of stuff. So I thought...
justifying yourself.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not... What am I doing?
I know.
I was like, forget about it. And thankfully sort of family helped me out a little bit as well. So it wasn't so much of a... It's cash flow, so it's always the difficult thing to manage, isn't it? So it's like, do it...
100%.
And everything... Always, it was going to cost me £2,000. It didn't. It cost me 5. Like it always ends up being the way.
Definitely, that always happens. Yeah, at least doubles. Yeah. Which
I'm learning. So back to you walked in. I'm interested. You walked in day one. Half the money was gone.
Yeah.
I guess you inherited staff. You inherited. Menu. Everything.
Yeah. Full shebang. Don't recommend that at all. Definitely closed for at least 24 hours. I took over halfway through a shift. It was messy. It was
halfway through a shift.
I know. It was, looking back now, it was ridiculous. That first week was just an absolute blur. And I had existing staff. I had new staff that I'd taken on. It was a complete, absolute blur. Wouldn't recommend that at all. Definitely close a couple of days, get yourself sorted. But a lot of it was finance, I must admit. I did not have that money to be closed because I had staff to pay straight away from day one. Normally, if it's a new startup business, you're building that staff up gradually. I was hit straight away, right, this is my wage bill, this is what's going out. this is what's happening. So it was a sink or swim moment, and I was like, right, okay. Obviously, you do not pay yourself to begin with. That is a given in most businesses. So it was messy, and I would not recommend that way. Just take your time, build your team slowly, and pick the right people.
That's the hard part as well, isn't it? It's the right
100%, yeah. And that's key. I think as a business owner, one of your most important jobs is recruiting the right people. And like, I still do all the interviews and, you know, stuff like that. Like, I think that's so important. Like, it's picking that right team. Because without that, you have no business, like, at all.
And then without that, you can't relax. You can't do anything without having everything being looked at.
Yeah.
And, so going, just stepping back a little bit, what was that? So you've gone from, like you say, managing in sort of not your own cafe and seeing that whole process. Apart from the hit with the reality of it pretty quickly, was there stuff that really surprised that you thought, like, I didn't even think about this was going to...
Yeah, like, honestly, you become when you have your own business, it's like day one, I was cleaner, manager, I was doing the HR, I was doing payroll. I became every aspect of that business, and you will never understand how much you are juggling, especially the first couple of years. You're doing every aspect of it, and no one can prepare you for that. You have to be, that's where you learn so much so as well. And I do think it's so important if you take on a new business that you know every aspect of that, even if it's a small amount or a little you know, bite-sized amount. You need to know everything that's going on in your business. It just didn't expect it to be on that volume. And because we weren't taking in enough money, I started opening and closing the coffee shop, and I would work a 16-hour day. Then I'd do all my paperwork in the evening. Yeah. That was one of the hardest points, 100%.
It is I'm really not a struggle, but like the podcast that I want it to be encouraging people and giving advice. But what tends to happen naturally is that people talk how difficult it is.
Yeah,
and I don't think there's any need. My whole plan when I started was let's be positive and talk about people and encourage them to do it. And I 100% do.
Yeah.
But naturally, everyone will explain how difficult it is.
Yeah.
And I just think I've kind of processed in my head that that's just the reality of it.
And you've got to be realistic.
Yeah,
you have to be realistic.
You have to be realistic. You have to be honest about it.
Yeah.
And there's no point pretending.
Yeah.
Because it is tough. It is tough in a lot of ways that you don't expect. It's all the hats you've got to wear. It's the not sleeping at night because you're thinking about all the hats you've got to wear and all the hats that you haven't worn.
And if you're wearing those hats correctly, like it is a massive challenge, but it's the most rewarding thing in the same. It conflicts itself, doesn't it?
Yeah. So the coffee shop, you kind of, how long did it take for you to? So you walked in day one, carnage.
Yeah.
How long until you felt like it was a steady ship that you kind of felt like it was?
I reckon about 8 months in, we were starting to really. I felt like the team was good. We were getting a flow. Customers weren't waiting hours for food. We were starting to improve. But then obviously COVID hit. But literally, we were about, I'd say, it takes a good 6 months to succeed anything if you're going to do it properly. A good year to start. You know, some businesses it takes 3 years before you start seeing any sort of profit. And, you know, that's hard going. Yeah.
I think it's... It is a really difficult space to be in. I mean, there's a really nice like cafe, like espresso bar type place in Bedford that is busy all the time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately shut a couple of weeks ago, just because
the overheads.
The overheads are high, the rent's high, everything is just expensive. Everything's
going up all the time, like wages and overheads, like you said, are going up so much that people don't realise if they're putting on 20p on a cup of coffee, the price increase. Costa, you know, people pay a fortune for, but if a little independent shop puts that 20p on, it's a bit more like, what's going on here? Whereas you're paying so much more for Costa coffee, which, you know, I'd rather go to an independent. I'd rather go to an independent coffee shop. they don't realise the impact of what they're paying, because we are not paying the same rates as costs. Literally they get away with murder. We are paying those independent rates, and we are paying hard rents, hard electric. My electric bill on one site is $3,000 a month. It's like, that's a lot of money before you've even paid staff wages, everything else, just to have as an outgoing. That's a lot of money. And it's like, that coffee shop, your perception is it's doing really well. And the truth is,
and that's
struggled.
the thing. And the thing is, it was busy, and it was, but it even more shows you how tough it is. And what was really interesting when they kind of put something on socials, that everyone was like, what?
Yeah, shocked.
Because it was busy. Everyone went there. And I think it is so difficult when, like, supporting local is really important. I think everyone's aware of that.
Yeah.
But also, I kind of compare it to like recycling.
Yeah.
That everyone knows they should do it, but they still buy plastic bottles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you should support local, but there's a Starbucks just there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drive,
which
park,
costs more.
walk.
Yeah. Costs more. Yeah.
I can drive through that and it costs me more, but do I park and walk?
Yeah.
I'll just get Starbucks.
Yeah.
And I think it's a conscious effort, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But anyway, that was a tangent.
I am massively, like, I support local wherever I can and whatever I'm doing, because I think it's so important. And you're providing jobs to the local community. And I know Starbucks is, but they're also, it's, how much are they contributing to those little independent, little shops? It's the quirkiness. They're so different. They're all unique. And that's what I love about independent shops and coffee shops.
I think as well, like, if you go to a little coffee shop, I like nice coffee. I'm not like I know exactly what bean I like or how it's roasted or anything, but you can definitely tell someone that's just done making loads of coffees in Starbucks. Yeah. Do you go to a nice coffee shop and they really enjoy making coffee and they're really like coffee and they like how they like it and they make efforts in how they do it and they measure stuff out and all this sort of stuff. You're like, this is nice.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a touch that you just don't get if you just...
Yeah.
And I contradict myself because I'll still go for a drive-through at Starbucks.
Well, don't. Simple.
That's told me. Okay, so you're 9 months in. I'm gonna move on before I get told off again. 9 months in, and you're kind of 8-9 months in. You feel like the steadying the ship, and then COVID hit.
Yes. Yeah. So I finally felt like I had a little bit of a buffer money-wise. I'd just started chipping away at my loan. I felt like I was in the zone. It was flowing. It was good. Boris comes on. That's it. Game over. I thought, right. I had a very large gin, and I thought, okay, that's it. We're closed down. And I don't think it actually sunk in enough how quickly that the money I'd saved, which wasn't an awful lot, but I had a couple of weeks' wages in there, my rent, things like that. That went so quickly. Yeah. And I think that scared the life out of me, because I thought, oh my God, I'm actually potentially not going to have a business to reopen here, because I just thought it'd be 2 weeks. Yeah. But obviously it dragged on and on. We had to become really versatile. Straight away I was trying to deliver afternoon teas. We were trying to think outside the box. And I must admit, it was purely to get as much money in the bank as possible and also sell through what stock we had, because obviously it happened quite quickly. And that's when you saw people supporting local at its finest.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, it was incredible. And everyone was getting behind businesses, buying gift cards, afternoon teas, you name it, they supported it. But for every local business, and it was so nice to see that. Definitely.
It's a weird time to think about, isn't it? Like, I don't even know how long lockdown was anymore. I don't know.
Someone said it was 5 years, 6 years ago, 5 years ago the other day, and I was like, what?
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing. I don't know.
I know.
It was just a weird nightmare. When you have a dream and you wake up and it's really clear, and then by lunchtime you think, what? I remember having a dream, but I don't remember what happened.
It's just mental.
It's crazy. It is nuts. But what I do think, trying to see the silver lining in like a very, very dark cloud, is so much. Everyone had time to think, right? Yeah. They've sat back and they thought, am I enjoying this job? Could I do this differently? Could I do that better? Could I adapt that in that way? My business started the back end of COVID, because I was sat around and my work, situations where I left my work, and I thought, I don't want to do this again for somebody else. well, what could I do? And then you start thinking, and I think a lot of people,
it's changed their life.
It has
massively.
And I think that a lot of things adjusted, and it meant people weren't in the office as much, so remote working was easy.
Exactly.
And then everyone's got a side hustle because they're at home now.
100%.
And now that side hustle's become a job. And
it's massive.
And I think it did have a lot of, for anyone that had a 1% entrepreneurial spirit in their brain,
it's pulled it out.
It's like, okay,
definitely.
And I think as well, if you have that 1%, all you need is a little bit of someone saying that's a good idea, and then you go in this, okay, and then
I've got a client,
and the snowball starts going and going and going,
and then once that snowball,
I think anyone can be an entrepreneur if they've got the right.
I think you're born with it. I do.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think there's like something where at a younger age, it just, I don't know, I just feel like, you know, when you meet an entrepreneur and you're talking to them and you have this different kind of fire in you. And
I just think it's passion. I just think that you found your passion for something.
Yeah, potentially, because it is. It's
someone's got that in them. It's just they haven't found that
what
spark in something.
Yeah.
Everyone's got it in. There was a, I can't remember, it's on a film or something, but everyone's a genius in their own way. It's just a lot of people don't find that genius.
What their genius,
And once you found it and you're like, okay. And then what I think then happens is it's a domino effect to other things that you're good at.
Yeah.
And other things
it brings up other things.
Sparks up more and more stuff. And then you start reading about stuff and you kind of you just like
you gravitate
feeding
towards
this
it.
fire constantly.
Yeah.
I do think there's part of it that's a type of brain.
Yeah, 100%. I think so.
There's also a type of it that can be kind of with a little bit of support, a little bit of
guidance.
Yeah, you can.
Do you think you have to be a bit nuts? There's something quite
100%.
wacky.
Or does being an entrepreneur make you nuts?
Possibly, yeah.
You weren't nuts at the start,
maybe,
but then you became it.
Maybe.
So you have got talk to me how did you to come out of COVID? What did that look like?
To be honest, coming out of COVID for me is in a way shaped my whole business. I looked at, so I was very much working in the business leading up to that point. And because we were closed down, I was looking at the business completely differently. I was looking at it from an overhead position going.
Which is really hard to do when you're in it. But
100%.
Sometimes you need to do it.
Yeah. And I looked at it so differently. I looked at the systems we were using and thinking of ways that I knew we could only have 27 people in the coffee shop at one time. What's the quickest way I could get people in and out? We needed to get money in a till. We needed to get back up and running. So I really looked at all the systems that I could do and I really focused on that. That was like my 4 months was just purely focusing on that. From that's when we changed everything at Felicity's. It was like we changed the way we did things. We changed our system. We tried to make it more efficient. We tried to make it like as consistent as possible. So if someone was coming on a Monday, they'd get the same thing on a Wednesday. That was really something I was homing in on: consistency, efficiency, and service. Like service, I think is so important. You can have the same cup of coffee in 5 places, but you'll remember the service.
Yeah,
that is key. I am a massive believer in that. I'm going off on a tangent now.
Fine.
But yeah, so for us, COVID in a way completely put us on the map because we were one of the only few people that were open for takeaway. So it really excelled us. And it really made me focus on how I was running the business because I wasn't in the business.
Yeah. So just on the point of service, so there's 2 points here, right, that we've kind of touched on, but I think they come together. Recruitment and that consistency service level. And that's key. They come hand in hand, right?
Definitely.
You can't oversee everything. You can't see every coffee that comes out.
Yeah, of course.
How do you... is it part of your recruitment process? Is it part of your training?
Yeah.
Or how do you work it so you know that obviously we'll get onto how you kind of expanded, but you have to make sure it's right
100%
in the first place.
I think one of the key things is a nice place to work. And I do focus on that. I think if your team are happy, that reflects in how they serve people, that reflects in what they're sending out. The products, do not get me wrong, there's still moments where I'm like, oh, right, pull that back in. But we've got this team that are actually passionate about where they're working. They enjoy where they work. That manifests into its own, its own check, if you like. People are making sure the customers are getting served. We have nice service because they're happy. People feel that when they come into the coffee shop. So I think that genuinely does stem into everything else. I think you've got to make sure your team are happy, the work environment's good. They're not under a huge amounts of pressure. Like sometimes it is so busy, we are under pressure, but you go into some places and there's 2 members of staff on.
Yeah.
The pressure's high. They are churning out that coffee quick. And I think, how happy can they be? Does that reflect on the service? Well, it's quick, it's snappy. So I do think a lot of it comes down to your culture, your workplace, your training. Obviously, we've got a really good team. You know, the managers will train staff on service, and just how we are. We're like a family. We are. Some of us are like so close. Some of them have been with me from day one. So it's like that family ethos, definitely.
I think it's you get what you give, don't you?
Yeah.
If everyone thinks they're a good manager, or everyone thinks they're good at what they do, but you see it.
Yeah.
It's something that intangible that you see.
Yeah.
That
it
you
reflects.
like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it is a part of everyone believing in what you're doing. If you're all rowing in the same direction, you're going to get there a lot quicker.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think I spoke on a previous podcast about trying to find stepping back to say, okay, we're all going that direction. You're not.
Yeah.
But why is that? Is that my fault?
Yeah.
Is that your fault? Is there external factors that what's going on?
Definitely.
And it's about finding that balance where you can be close, you can feel like a family, but they can confide in you as much as they need to, but also you can challenge people to say
100%. And that's a fine line. It's got to be like, and you've got to be consistent for them, and you still have to, have hard conversations, things like that. That will never come easy to people. That's just part of your job, and you have to get on with that. But I think if you're 99% of the time you've got a good, happy team, I think that's a really good reflection on your business. I think only your business will, succeed in those environments.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go to when you've got a team, you're sort of happy where you are. Why did you think that you needed more? Why was it like, right, what's the next step now?
I think for the first 3 years of having the business, there's this weird constant, you need another site. You've got to do another site. Why? I don't know. Looking back, you go, why? What was that about? It was
like a niggling feeling.
You have I honestly thought the day one when I had that coffee shop, I'm done. This is me for life. I'm so happy. The more ambitious you come, it gets harder and harder. You want more and more, which you do have to learn to rein in. But the second site was something I drove past all the time because I was doing a house up and in the local area, and it was the second site that I went, I really want that. Yeah. Brought it off Facebook Marketplace. Classic. I look back now, literally, I don't think you can. I still Google it because it was a really good find. I still go business for sale. Honestly, it was all legitimate. Brought it off Facebook Marketplace. It still blows my mind. And we set up the second site. And that was for me to see if what I'd learned in COVID, where I could have a business that did not need me to be operating at all.
Yeah.
And it was just putting that to test that if that was going to work for me. So that's why I got the second site, Felicity's at the station. And I just oversee that completely now. And that was the whole point. It was just to test myself, really.
And what was so compare day one at site one to day one at site two?
Completely different. You even did, cutting of the ribbon, balloons, complete opposite to what day one looked like at the other site, complete opposite. I did Prosecco. It was exciting.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one, so I'd learned one lesson to do it properly.
And get Prosecco.
And we gave out cake. It was all very exciting. Yeah, so that felt completely different to site one.
And how long? So site one was sort of 8 to 9 months until it felt like it was sort of all kind of working.
Yeah.
And then how long did site two feel like that?
Again, another year. It was another year. We had a few teething problems. We didn't have the right team in, things like that. Like, it was a good year. It's down to the key people again, and getting the right people in. That is key.
I think that says two things. It's one, that you've tried the second site, you went for the second site.
Yeah.
But it also just shows that it doesn't matter if you've got years of experience and know what you're doing. That doesn't mean that, day one it was good, and by month 2 you're flying.
Yeah.
It's not always just...
It's not always that simple.
Copy and paste, is it?
Yeah. And I think the world we live in on like TikTok and stuff these days, it makes it look like things happen overnight. And sometimes they can if things go viral. But normal day-to-day businesses that you see on the high street, that doesn't happen overnight. No. That is years of building up customer relations and having the right team, and that takes practice.
Yeah. Yeah, there is this whole TikTok. It's around sort of any type of someone that has a business on TikTok. It's scalable if you do this. If you're not doing this, and this, then you're going to fail. If you're not doing this, and this, then you can't call yourself an entrepreneur. Or if you're not taking home 10K a month, then
what are you doing? Yeah.
And I think that really doesn't feed any sort of positive narrative that if you're not, I say this all the time, and it's something that really bugs me. If you haven't got a Rolex driving a Range Rover and you're in Dubai every summer, then you're basically not a business owner.
I know.
And I just don't think that makes anybody want to do it.
100%, because it's like it's just a really pretentious way of seeing a business owner. A business owner to me is like the knowledge they have, what they've created, that legacy of their business, and what people say about that business. That is you as a business owner. It's not about what car you drive, what you have in assets and all of that. I hate those chats. I avoid those people where it's like, or they see it as a status thing. I'm not interested in that life whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult because you want to succeed and you want to earn money. And
of course you do.
And it'd be a lie if you said that's not why you're doing things. And
100%. I am driven by money, and I'm not afraid to say that. I think people are like scared to say that, but that drives me. And of course it does. I wouldn't. Yes, I love and I'm passionate about what I do, but money does drive me.
Yeah. And I think there's 100%. And I think there's 2 ways of looking at it, right? It's I'm doing it to earn money.
Yeah.
Or I see things as there's a lot of clients we could have taken on, a lot of people we could have worked with and earned a lot more money.
Yeah.
But we do the right thing, the right way, and the money will come.
Absolutely. And it's what lines up with you. I had a client ring me up a couple of weeks ago, and they wanted to start up a business. They wanted to come on board with my consulting, and they didn't want anything to do with the business. They didn't want to be involved in the business. And I knew naturally that wasn't going to work for me, because I want to help people that are passionate about what they're doing and getting involved in the business and want to be a part of the business. That's what I'm interested in. I don't want to help someone set up something that they're not even going to be in. It just doesn't interest me at all.
Get rich quick. Get rich quick and passive income are the 2 things that niggle at me as well. Like passive income means you just want to be lazy and not earn any money. That's what you want to do.
I do want a passive income.
Everyone wants a passive income, right? But there's not. I don't.
You need to keep your day-to-day busy though. 100%. Yeah.
But also, there's very little things that are real passive income that you're not you haven't got something that you've gone into it already.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And drop shipping and this and that.
Yeah.
I think it feeds that. I say there's one part of your brain that's like this entrepreneurial part of your brain.
Yeah.
That feeds the 99% that isn't.
Yeah.
It's just drop ship, sit at home.
Yeah. Do it all from your laptop.
Yeah. It's all good. Just get it from China where it's cheap and chuck it to the customer and not care if it works or not. That's not feeding this passion, this energy that's driving.
And that must get boring after you've done it. You'll get a buzz to begin with.
Yeah.
But after you've done that must get boring.
Yeah. It must do.
It must do. It's not.
Maybe it's just because I don't make loads of money.
Maybe. To be fair, I haven't tried it either. Should we give it a go?
Yeah. So you've kind of touched on the consultancy part of it, but there's obviously a gap in between.
Yeah, massive.
Second site to where you are now. So talk me through kind of where we are, what the next phase of that was.
Yeah. So obviously we had Felicity's, and then as soon as we came out of COVID, I thought, right, I'm never going to be this vulnerable again. I need to make sure I've got more than one income, because I had no money coming in because I was self-employed. I went to 0 and I was like, oh God, right, this is how it looks like. So we went to Felicity's at the station, which was 3 years we were in. It must have been 3 years. Then on the same year, I was really interested in holiday lets. So me and my husband got a holiday let together, and then 2 years ago we brought next door because that's gone really well. So we've got 2 there that live next door to each other. And I just love building different things. And obviously it's still that service element. And I did think the other day, if we ever did have a COVID, I'm no better off because they're all like, literally, I'm probably worse off.
What were your two things that you couldn't do?
Yeah, I was like, we'll all be shut down.
Let's hope there's not another COVID.
Let's hope.
I don't think anyone can deal with that again.
Anyone will deal with it anyway. But yeah, so that's when we went into Airbnb industry, and I absolutely love that. It's again providing a service, and it's just a different way of looking at it. And then I recently was in a book, which I've written my own chapter with, which is interesting because I'm dyslexic and it's hard to write a book.
Yeah.
And then, I've just literally launched the Business Consultant about 4 weeks ago.
So I'm just going to take some chunks out.
Yep, sorry.
That's okay. So starting the Airbnb side of it,
yes.
I think there's a lot of people that want to go into property, Airbnbs, but the fear is people don't even entertain the conversation. I don't have the money. I can't buy it. So I can't do it.
Yeah.
What would you be your take on that? Is it that obviously it's not that unachievable, but
it's hard. Like, so for me, about 2 years ago, I was like, right, I'm going to go and find myself an investor. And I spent a year looking for an investor to invest into my property company. And honestly, every conversation I was having, I thought, this is me. This is all I was talking about for a year, was finding this investor. It was hard. I was offering 10% return and people just thought it was too good to be true. And I was like, no, I genuinely can back it up. I can pay this 10%, blah, blah, blah. It was hard. So I do think you need your own money.
Yeah.
Some people might fall lucky and get an investor, but it is quite hard. The way I've always done property, I am very passionate about property, is you get that deposit money if you can. Then every 2 years you remortgage, pull your money back out and start doing it that way.
Okay.
That's the way I've done it over the last ever since COVID. We've had that wake up call. We've done it every 2 years where we've released the money back out of our property to reinvest into another property. It's long. It feels long every 2 years for me. I'm very impatient. I want everything yesterday. But that's the most natural way that we're doing it. And again, we're not relying on anyone. It is our own money. So I'd recommend that if anyone's going down that route. But property, I do think, will always go up in value. And I do think it's a really safe bet.
You need something drastically to go wrong again for you to not be able to. Or,
touch wood, it doubles every 10 years. So touch wood, you're on a safe bet.
Yeah.
And I do think it's a huge industry, and I know a lot of people are talking about it at the moment, but it's exciting. It's a lot of landlords are dropping out at the moment because they're getting to that stage in life where it's not, the maths don't stack up on it. So that's where Airbnb came in for us, because the rental value wasn't there, in all honesty.
And I guess it goes back to the first point we spoke about with the cafes, when the service is right, the quality level that you set at is right, because I mean, I just through work and travel and stuff, I use Airbnb a fair bit, and I've the reviews, if it's right and the pictures look good, and they must. It's nearly impossible to book half of them. Yeah. So if you do it right and you look after it, and you're responsive to people when they ask questions and things like that, it makes complete sense.
100%. But I think again, you have to be quite hands on with it. Like we were there 6 times last week because we take it very seriously. Like we're like, oh, scratch paint, this, that, the other. Like we love those 2 houses, and that's probably where I overstep the mark sometimes as a business owner. Sometimes I'm just so fixated on like the little mark on the wall and the tiny details that, we spend half our life there, but
you see it. Like,
I love it. I'm so passionate about it, and you see it in the place.
And you would see that when you come in. I'm when I go places, I've got this. Oh, that's annoying. Or why wouldn't you just do that? Or
it makes it like literally. It's the little details that I think. Do other people notice this, or is it just us two? And we're like, there's a scratch on the wall. It wasn't there 2 days ago. How have we remembered? Like that's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's
a little paintbrush out again.
Again, that is part of the brain that's just like, does this? need this perfectionist type that needs to be exactly how you like it.
Yeah.
I'm like, if it's not exactly how I like it, I get very frustrated.
Yeah, frustration. My husband would say that, like, literally, you can tell, he's like, what's wrong? Have you seen a scratch? Because I'm like, oh, this place, because it's constant maintenance.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Constant, because it's like a little fisherman's cottage. So people will naturally knock their suitcases on the wall. Just walk around with a paintbrush.
Yeah. With a paintbrush in your back pocket. You just, as soon as they check in, are you just there straight away?
Quick paintbrush. I'm not allowed down there for I'm not allowed to go every week because I'll just drive everyone up the wall. So I go once a month.
Right.
But last week I was there 7 times.
That's a compromise.
Yeah, compromise.
So one to the next door. And then I guess, like I say, the plan is to every 2 years.
Yeah, just keep doing property. Like, I think for us, not necessarily Airbnb, it is hopefully every 2 years we'll just keep building on what we have. And the property industry is probably changing the most out of, years ago it was very consistent, whereas it's changing almost every week. There's a lot of different avenues you can go into in property these days. It could be, the care sector, it's Airbnbs, it's flipping houses, there's a lot of different avenues. So for us, it's just picking the right ones at the right time, definitely.
How much research and like due diligence did you go into before?
Oh, I'm on Rightmove every day. Right. I am a nightmare. Like, I love just looking at property.
Yeah.
I love seeing how it fluctuates. With Airbnb, I was heavily stalking the area that I wanted. But again, COVID hit. I didn't have the money at the time. So we were heavily looking at this area for where we wanted the Airbnbs. I studied that area for 2 years. And I was looking at their calendars, how booked up they were. I was looking at what sort of footfall was coming down there. It was a lot of research. The second one, I didn't, because we were next door. I just sort of went off what we got. It seemed like a good investment. And then off we went with that.
It's really interesting, the amount of, again, and not to bang on about it, but they're saying about the TikTok stuff of getting money quick and stuff. Everyone that we've spoke to on this podcast, the key thing that they've talked about is just the hard work, the research, the time, the effort, the energy.
That no one sees. 100%. It's not like, I come across probably like I'm really well together, all day, happy cracking on. It's those night times where people do not see, where you're still grafting, you're still on that laptop, you're still writing 50,000 notes that I have everywhere.
Notes or research or videos or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and everything I'm doing is like either educational or towards something. It's not like, we don't watch much telly, I must admit. We are like constantly like, what's next? Let's look at this. But that excites me. And I think if it excites you and you enjoy it, then there's no harm in it at all.
I agree. But I also think as well that is, I just think I don't class myself as an entrepreneur. I don't think that I've got a business, and I think that all it is I've just done loads of research, spent loads of time, I've loads of effort, and that's why when I say at the start, I don't think everyone has to have this thing in them. Yeah,
because you're just a focused person, would you say? And you just think.
I don't think I think I'll contradict myself again, right? Because I know that I want to have another business. I'm always thinking about what business I want to have next.
Entrepreneurial.
But I just don't think that I never thought I'd ever run a business, ever.
Didn't you?
I didn't think it was
I've
ever
always wanted to and had it in me that I just knew I was going to do it at some stage, but I didn't know what in.
Yeah, never crossed my mind.
Isn't that funny?
It crossed my mind, but I thought I'd never be able to do that. Not a chance.
But then obviously you've overcome that and just gone.
Yeah, like the whole imposter syndrome every day and all this sort of stuff.
That's huge. Yeah, it's huge.
But I think that's why I kind of think that anyone that wants to invest the time, invest the effort, and can find the passion can just do it. Yeah. But they're willing to not get paid for a while, or put the time in, or deal with arguments from family members, or because you're not doing this, or you're doing that, or you're not present, or you're. I think there's.
Being present is you've hit the nail on the head. That I remember, I still do it to some days now, where I'll be at events or family occasions, and I am just thinking about 150 things. Yeah. And the first couple of years I struggled with that the most, because you are just consumed by, but it was like weird things like, did I get the chocolate cake off the counter? And then did I text so-and-so back about a shift and this? And it was like such minor details, where now I think, like, I don't know how I used to cope with it. It was all the little fine details. Before you had systems in place, checklists, stuff like that. Used to just consume you, and you were never present. And I miss weddings, I miss dinners, because those first 3 years, everyone thinks you've lost the plot, but they are crucial. They're crucial.
Even so, the business now is like four and a bit years, and even now I feel like I'm not
100% there.
I feel like I'm always thinking about work. I'm always thinking about what I could do, but I think that we're still. I don't know if I'm ever going to feel that I'm in a place where everything's good. That's
the hardest part, I think, because I've had to watch that over the last couple of years, because I felt like I'm constantly chasing something. I don't want to feel like that my whole life, because
it's tiring.
It's tiring, and you're never going to get there. And it's felt like I've been chasing something continuously, and it's only been the last, I'd say, 2 years where I've looked in on myself a bit more and gone, actually, what are you chasing? Who's it for? That's the hardest, and trying to be more present, because I got married 3 weeks ago, and that's the first time in years where I completely switched off. But I think it's because there was so many people there, and I had something else to focus on. That's the first time since I've had the business I switched off, because you can't fully switch off from owning a business.
No.
I just don't think it can happen.
No.
It's that constant little noise, isn't there?
Yeah.
Little niggle.
But I also find that the moment I start switching off is when I have loads of good ideas as well.
100%.
So I can't,
creativity.
even if I'm like stopping, I'm like, okay, I'll relax. Actually, I could do this, and this.
You've had a couple of moments off,
Yeah.
Mine will be like 9 o'clock at night. Next thing is laptop's out. I've got all these amazing ideas, writing notes, that it's weird. And when that creativity flow comes in, you can't stop it. You need to act on it. Like, you have to.
I come in the morning and I'm right, we're doing this, and this. And I didn't, anything that needed to get done that day didn't get done. And these two are like rolling their eyes at me, because I'm like, can you do this? Can you do this? And it's just, if I can't not do it, I'm in a bad mood. I need to do it. I need to get it out of my head. And if it's good, fine. If it's bad, fine. But I can move on. And
everything else goes out the window that day.
And just like my walking the dog time or commuting time or whatever
is your thinking time.
It's just, okay, I could do this. Could do this.
It's
or I'm
mental.
like talking to myself. Could I do this? No, it won't work. Would it work? Maybe it
I always talk to myself.
And it's that, and then I feel like, oh, I'm here. How have I been in the car for that long, and I'm already here?
It's mad, isn't it?
I'm glad I'm not alone.
No. You're not losing the plot. It's fine.
Okay, so you spoke about a book.
Yes.
Talk me through how that came about.
Do you know what? It was a load of local women on the Wirral in Liverpool, and we all decided to write a bit about our entrepreneurial ship, if you like, and how we got to where we were coming in, different struggles, different avenues, and everyone's got completely different businesses, which is so nice. So I wrote a chapter in this book, and honestly, for someone that's dyslexic, that was hard work. Like, literally, it was hard. But yeah, it's been released on Amazon. It got #1 seller, and it's done really well. It's called Limitless. And just amazing women in business that want to help other women, and it was just incredible to do it with them, to be honest, and share that moment with them. And some of them are doing so well, and everyone's got such niche businesses as well. It's just been amazing.
I bet there's a lot of learning from that group.
Huge. And I joined that group, I reckon it must have been 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And it's so empowering. It's not been like any other networking group I've gone to. It's just genuinely women wanting women to do well.
Yeah.
And everyone's just got contacts, and it's just so natural. We don't have moments where we stand up and introduce ourselves. It's none of that. It's just natural, organic networking. And I think there's something to be said in that completely.
I think it's really hard to find a good networking group. One that isn't really salesy, or one where you don't have to bring a friend every week, or
I don't have that many friends.
I don't know that many people. Unless I bring my dog to it or something.
Even he wouldn't behave, my dog.
So I think it's hard to find a group of people that it's not networking for me isn't always about new business or
it's not even about selling.
No, it's about let's a group of people that are in the same boat, going through the same stuff. Let's chat. Let's do this. Oh, I might know someone that can help you with that. Or
exactly. It's so natural.
Whatever it may be. And then I also think there's a positive networking event is a one where it's kind of, I can help you with that, or maybe you can help me with this and I'll help you with that.
Exactly.
And then you start sort of trading skills and services and all that sort of stuff, where it's not always about, well, if I'm not going to get X amount from this,
I'm not going to talk to
bother.
you. Yeah. And I think especially in sales, for me, there's nothing worse than a hard sell, not interested, gets my back up.
Yeah.
Anyone that tries to sell like something to me, I just think if you're in sales and you're just having a general conversation and it's just natural, I'll buy from it all day long. Yeah. It's when it's too pressured.
Yeah.
It's just so obvious that someone's trying to sell you a service and not just get to know you as a person.
Yeah. And I think that gets the result as well, because if I know you as a person, sales is really weird because my background is mainly in sales.
Yeah.
But most salespeople is feature bashing. This is what you need. And this is this and this is that. But no one wants to ask why you want something, or what do you need, or what's working, what's not working. And if you get to know somebody,
100%,
you already can quite easily work out this is working, this isn't working. And also it's, can I help you with that?
Yeah.
Because I could tell you all the amazing things that we do. You might not need any of it. It might not fit for what we do.
Yeah.
And whatever it may be, do you know what I mean? You're trying to shoehorn something in, and that's what networking is. It's how can I shoehorn in what I do in any gap in conversation?
Yeah.
And if you can't find that, I just don't like it. And even as a salesperson, I'm just like, just stop it.
Weather's nice. Have you got life insurance?
It's so true.
It's just too much. Yeah. It's just too much.
But what was your chapter about?
So mine was about how I have dyslexia, and for me, school was, it was hard. I was put back a year. I was told I would never succeed at anything in life. I wouldn't pass my GCSEs. Nice to hear it. I was just not going to get very far. And I just think we shouldn't, like, a lot of people are dyslexic. A lot of people have different learning difficulties or just ways of learning.
Yeah.
And I do think the school system is so far behind now. And I think everyone learns differently. And I don't think telling a 15, 16-year-old that they're not going to achieve much or go to university, how is that going to motivate that young mind? What's that doing for that person? Yeah. So for me, it was just talking a bit about being dyslexic and how you really work on your personality and you learn how to adapt yourself in situations and change words. Because I make a lot of words up. I know I do. They don't even make sense. But you learn to say different words. If we were sitting here having a conversation, I had to read to you. Sorry. That's okay. Getting passionate. If I had to read to you off a book, game over. It would be hard for everyone to watch. I even struggle to read like my nephew's, books. They're hard.
Yeah.
And he's like 5. So for me, it was talking a bit about, do you know what? We don't all have to tick these boxes, go to uni, and just because you've been to uni doesn't automatically mean that you're going to have a business that's going to be really successful. Yeah. It was ticking those boxes and saying, actually, I didn't go to uni and I've done all right for myself type. It's
really good that to be open about it and writing about it. Because, I mean, just so you know, I've got an 18-month-old little boy and I don't like reading his books for him. You're not the only one. I just, it's really weird. Sometimes it's okay. And sometimes I just can't.
Your brain it's
really bizarre.
And especially if you're tired, it really messes up.
It's really difficult to articulate it as well, to explain it to someone, because I know that word, I know that word, I know that word. Yeah. But when I'm reading them out, in my head it's not as bad, but out loud,
I sound like I'm
an idiot.
Yeah.
That's how I sound.
And it's so slow and it's like
and
painful.
I say it wrong. And
I add words in.
Yeah.
I take words out.
Yeah. And I struggle with, when I'm reading, at school, it was like the one that I used to absolutely hate. The one in English where you have to read something and then read in comprehension.
Reading and comprehension. Yeah. And so analyse it.
I don't know if this makes any sense to you. When I read a page, I can get to the bottom of the page and have no idea what I've just read. One word after another.
Yeah.
That's how I feel a lot of the time.
So mine would be skipping. So I would just make stuff up, look really confident. Like, I think I've nailed that. Like, I'd look dead confident. I would skip a load of words, add some words in, sit back down, big smile on my face, thinking, yeah, I've smashed it. And I'm looking around and everyone's like, what page is she reading that from? I used to just make it up. And then spelling. Names. So I was reading my nephew's book. I made up a name and he was like, who's that? Because obviously the book's been read about 20 times.
Yeah.
They're not in the book. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm getting like nervous.
Being called out by a 5-year-old.
I'm nervous. I'm like really like sweating. I'm thinking, I can't do this. Yeah. And it's like silly.
It is. And it's not, I think that, like you say about schools, it was always like that was the dyslexic group.
Yeah. Or you get extra time in your exam, or I'd get ushered off into another room for twice a day for extra spelling, which was just me just failing constantly. And it was
it just doesn't make sense,
again,
does
why
it?
am I doing a spelling test?
We know I can't spell.
I cannot spell. So me going over these same spellings and getting 2 out of 10 is just not getting me anywhere.
I do get it. I kind of, it was late, a lot later in sort of uni and stuff. I went to uni because I felt like I had to go to uni. I didn't have a choice. It was just, that's what you do.
I wasn't getting the grade, so I got, when you get to that stage where you're like, oh, they're not getting the grade, so we're just going to not speak to them now, and that's their life. And whereas at least you were getting grades.
Yeah,
I
went to my third choice. So.
Okay. What was that?
I just stayed where I was, went to Bedford. And I did sport, anything that I could do.
Classic.
But yeah, I think I came out of school similar to you. Like, I thought I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Wasn't really going to do much.
Yeah.
And I spent most of the time outside of lessons.
Yeah.
And
you probably just couldn't
because
focus.
I couldn't learn the way that everybody else could learn. My girlfriend at the time would read a book. Her studying is, you read a book, okay. Now she gets like 8 A stars or something stupid.
Because it's just
there.
Yeah.
And for me, I didn't know how I learnt then.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I know how to learn.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know I'm not stupid and know that I can learn stuff. And I'm always watching videos about things and I just absorb all this information.
It's how you're doing it, yeah. Like for me, it was like, if you showed me how to put a tripod up practically, yeah, great. If you wrote that down, no chance.
Even if you showed me, I'd struggle. Yeah. I'd have to do it myself.
You have to do it. You're a practical person. That's how you learn. But in school, it's one way. And that's the teacher reading out loud
your way,
to you.
that way or you're stupid. There's no real in between.
And you feel stupid. Like, it's a horrible feeling when you feel like you are the most stupidest person in the class. And that does not motivate people.
And you're right, saying that to a young person, what's that going to achieve?
What were we benefiting from that? Even to pull my mum and dad in and say, look, she's not achieving. She's not going to achieve, just to pre-warn you. Oh, fabulous. Do you know what? I skipped out of there.
You felt great.
Great. Yeah.
We had a really interesting conversation with, there's a girl, a lady. I don't never know how to say it. A woman, lady, girl, whatever.
Awkward.
Yeah. So I had a really good conversation with someone that came on the podcast. She's got a company called Little Marketing Company. She went to speak to some people at school. Yeah. And they were kind of the group of maybe not learning as the same as everybody else. Yeah. And she had a presentation, and someone asked her, have you got a business? She said, yeah. She started talking about, everyone's eyes lit up, and she was just, for the rest of the day, the rest of her session was just talking about business and how it starts. Yeah. And there's something there in people.
Oh, 100%. There's so much that you can give to entrepreneur, or like people that are studying business, even like it's this set program again. Yeah. I tried to do it as an A-level, wasn't clever enough, off a pot. How ironic that is. I've got multiple businesses, and it's like, but yeah, I could not pass that. I could not pass that A-level because it was all written down. Again, it wasn't practical. It wasn't mixed in with
someone talking to you about it, asking you questions, helping you understand.
Someone passionate about it and just saying, did you know this is how you do costings? Did you know this is how you run a business day to day? Let's go into a business. Let's see how they run it.
Yeah, or let's set up an example where if you were to run a business, what would you do? How would you do it? How would you start? What would your approach be? And you might say, well, what I'll do is I'll go and buy premises. Okay, where would you get the money from?
Yeah.
I'd save it. Okay, how are you going to get that money? How are you going to
get that? Yeah.
Okay, how are you going to get a loan?
Yeah.
I put my business plan together, no idea what I was doing.
I've literally, that's all I've done. Or every business plan I've done. And it had so many spelling mistakes in, like huge amount of spelling mistakes in. Business, I keep spelling business wrong. Keep putting busyness. And literally it was on the first page of my property. No wonder no one invested in my property company.
Yeah, I was going to say, that might be why.
I'm dyslexic.
But it's just like, you need to learn these things and understand these things.
Yeah, 100%.
And I didn't need a business plan because I wasn't borrowing money. But it was just the process that I was talking to my dad about. The process is to understand what it is you want to achieve. And
it helps you understand your vision and where you're wanting to go with that business.
And it didn't matter that it wasn't very good because it was kind of all coming out of my head and it didn't really matter. But like I say, if you want to get some money or you want to, whether you want to borrow money from your parents, a business plan.
Oh, you still have to do it,
is what you're going to do, why you want to do it, how it's going to work, what your target audience is, how much money you want to borrow, how you're going to pay it back, when you're going to pay it back, all that stuff.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't even know where to start with that.
That can be daunting just to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think even just getting your business plan started helps you understand what you do want from it. It's a really good exercise, even if you, like you said, don't need to go for investment or you're borrowing off friends or family. It helps you see where the vision's going.
You're asking yourself the questions, aren't you?
Definitely.
Yeah. So, did you say 3 weeks ago you started the consultancy?
I did 3 weeks ago.
Talk to me about there's a feeling of not wanting to sit still and like there's the next thing.
I know it looks that way.
Where did this idea come from and why did you feel like it was the right time?
Do you know what? I've always wanted to do it. I get asked quite a lot. I get a lot of people just messaging saying I'm starting a business or I've got this. Sorry, because I'm getting passionate. It's when I'm passionate. They're starting a business off or they've got an existing business. Can I soundboard like something off you or Airbnbs? So I noticed it was happening quite a lot and I thought, do you know what? I really should be looking into doing this as a business.
Yeah.
I haven't got the capacity to take on loads of clients. I want to just take on a small amount that genuinely want to learn and grow. And I'm just so excited to do it. And I've always wanted to do it. And my dad's always said to me, you should really go into that, And I don't know, it's just sort of fired something up in me to start it. I like watching businesses grow. I like watching people being passionate about what they're wanting to do.
Yeah.
I get quite a lot of enjoyment out of that. I enjoy watching the team at Felicity's grow and seeing the passion they have. And there's something inside me that really enjoys that. And I think if there was something like what I am doing when I first had my business, I think it would have been so helpful.
Yeah.
And they don't have to make the same mistakes I made.
Yeah.
I can help. They can learn from me and go, there's a lot of mistakes you make that cost a lot of money in your first couple of years. And I think if I can help anyone just go that little bit further or even just start the business that they've wanted to start for 10 years, just get them over that first line, I'll be happy.
So it sounded like an organic
definitely
approach to people 100%. Asking these questions. Let's find a way of answering them.
Definitely, and no hard sell. I am not interested in the hard sell. If people want to jump on board, they can jump on board. But I just want to help people that really want the help.
I think it's a really good way of feeling that the authenticity of you wanting to help, because it's not your primary business. It's not your primary sort of source of income.
Yeah.
You're doing it because you want to do it.
Exactly.
You care about doing it.
And
so
it feels like there's no pressure on it, which is quite nice. It's probably the first business I've gone into where, well, obviously it helps because the overheads are so low. It is just myself.
Yeah.
It's probably the first business where it feels just like I can just be really organic about it. Almost pick and choose who I want to work with because I want to help you. I want to be able to give my time correctly.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way of putting it.
And they know that it's coming from the right place because they're not. You've got the experience, but it's not one of these. If you want to do this, then sign up for my course, and I'm going to guarantee this. It's,
exactly.
I just want to help. I've done it. Been there, done it. You
tell me what you're struggling with, and I'll do my best to help you, because I had massive imposter syndrome. I was looking at business consultants, seeing what degrees they had, and all of that again that kicked in, and then I was like, do you know what? They've never run a business.
Yeah.
So I just think that is 90% of it. I've done it. I've been there. I live and breathe it every day of my life. So I think, well, not every day of my life. Well, it's from when I was 9.
There you go.
I had the pressure of, my rock museum. So for me, I do think I live and breathe it a lot. So I genuinely think I can help people.
Yeah. And I think that there's not a lot of people that want to share secrets or want to share success.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
I find that weird. I think as long as they're not your direct competition right on your doorstep, you have to be a bit secretive in what you're doing. But there's so much out there for everyone that you can share, like property and stuff like that. People keep that quite guarded, and it's like the wealth of knowledge that's out there already anyway. And there is enough property for everyone, and there's enough business for everyone. I think it's quite narrow-minded if you're not willing to help and share certain things. I think that is what business is. And then also it's good for you. It's good networking and you're building, and definitely.
I think imposter syndrome is a big one. How do you feel like you mentioned it's there for the consultant side of it. Is it something that's still across everything that you do?
Yeah, like I've always nowhere near as bad as year one. Year one was like I used to be crying at TripAdvisor reviews, and I'd be looking at everyone else and seeing what they're doing. Now I'm very much, this is my lane. We are who we are. We're not a la carte. We are where we are. We're positioned where we are. And I'm very focused on what our vision is. And there's no point me looking at places that do things beautifully. We do, but we do it completely differently. Yeah. And I'm okay with that now. Whereas years ago, I was very focused on, well, we're not doing this. But there's so much good stuff that we are doing, and it makes us unique for that. It's really hard, imposter syndrome, and it will creep in. And I think I'm just better at knowing when it does creep in, come off all social media just for like a couple of hours, go for a walk, rein myself back in. Because once you start spiraling and going down that route, it's a dark hole, and you're not gaining anything from it.
It's not a fun feeling.
It's a horrible feeling, and you're not gaining from it. You're just...
It's like self-sabotage, isn't it?
100%. 100%. I think the more you go into business, the longer you're in it, you get a bit more like, I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I know I'm not. Yeah. I think that attitude comes along a bit.
Kind of, the I don't know if it's a fear, but it's a... everything you just said, I completely agree. When I started out, it was, I should be doing this. They're doing this. They're doing this. I should be doing this. Why am I doing that? Why don't I think of it? And now, and again, only in the last 6 months that I've just gone, I'm doing what I know what I want to do.
Exactly.
How I want to do it. And I'm going to do it. I know exactly where I want to be. Exactly what I want to offer.
Yeah.
How I want to offer it. Who I want to offer it to.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And there is moments when I'm going to bed thinking, and I just think, no. It has to be a conscious effort to be like, no.
100%.
You've gone through different phases of trying stuff.
Yeah.
You've seen it through. You know what you're doing. It's not like I'm trying something, a whole new business that I've never thought of before. But it's that niggle that you need to just tell it to shut up.
100%. I think you need to just completely back away from it. If you're on social media and stuff, that's a quick fix. Come off it. Don't look at it. I think social media is amazing, but it also has that downside of you constantly comparing. So I would just come away from that and just go, right, okay, that's me for a couple of days. Stay in my lane.
Yeah.
Because there's always someone out there looking at what you're doing and thinking, wow, they're amazing. So I think everyone does it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I think it's just stay focused and stay.
Yeah, stay in your own lane is such a simple...
It just gears you back in.
Yeah, a simple way of thinking about things, but it just makes so much sense. Just you control the controllables. Like all you can do is what you can do. And if you fail, you fail.
You've got no control of what Joe Bloggs is doing up the road. Like, exactly. That is completely out of your control.
And also, it doesn't benefit you. No. If they're doing great or they're not doing great, it doesn't make any difference to your life.
Exactly.
It's hard to believe in yourself when you fail, when you do things wrong, where you get called out for stuff or you let a client down. But everyone goes through these things.
Oh, of course you do. And I think that's where your growth comes from. Like I think when you have the lowest of low moments, that's where you learn the most and you grow the most.
Yeah. And I think that's what people are often scared of is failure. But it's failure at anything. Simple, silly example, but you go and ask someone out at the bar and they say no.
You feel like you failed.
You failed, but they could have said yes.
Yeah.
Do you know
At
what I mean?
least you've tried
At least
it.
you've tried.
Yeah.
And about everything in life, you could fail you could go and open another site and it goes bang, done.
Yeah.
Or you can slog it out for a year and it doesn't work.
Yeah. But that's only on you. And I think like, don't worry what other people think. Yeah, okay, you have to face that you might have failed at that site or
but then
failed
you
at that
learn
business.
for the next one.
You
It might
learn,
be wrong location, or
exactly.
it might have been that, I don't know, you were offering the wrong thing to the wrong location, or
the wrong clientele, or
whatever it is. Then you learn, or you've gone too far too quick, and you have to rein it back and say, actually, and that going back to our point earlier, there's finding the space where you're okay with what you're doing. Yeah, that's hard.
100%, because I think people think they have to grow and grow quick. Nowadays, I feel like maybe I'm getting older. I think grow slowly, grow organically. Don't go 100 miles an hour, because that fall back down is really painful and it costs you a lot of money. Yeah, like it's so much money. And I am looking at my businesses completely differently now. I'm thinking, actually, we've got really good businesses here. So how can we make them even better? How can we make the team even happier? Like, and I think focus on what you've got. Because if you've got a good product or a good business, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get another site and have double the turnover. It's not as simple as that. It's like you've got more overheads. It's like, let's look at it differently and go, actually, I'm going to look at what I've got and make sure I'm at maximum on that.
That's such a good point, because I was always chasing for more clients, because more clients, I had this threshold in my head. It was like 10 grand a month, 20 grand, whatever it is a month, right? But then that means more people, and that means more travel, and that means more whatever.
Whereas actually you want the quality.
Yeah.
So you want,
but also the profit doesn't get much bigger either.
Yeah. But your time is getting stretched.
And the stress gets more, and the expectation and the demand and X, Y, and Z. So I think it's about finding, whether it's in one business or other business, because I know what I want to do more.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that in this one that has to be massive or more. So it's about finding that
fine line.
Yeah. But it's only just you just getting stuck in to doing it to know where that is.
And I think you change all the time, and your mindset changes, and the more you work on your mindset, you realise that actually it's not necessarily having 25 sites, it's quality over quantity.
It could be 5 really good ones.
And that's where I'm up to with property. It's not necessarily about having 10 buy-to-lets. It's actually what's the quality of what we're providing. And I think that's where it shifts over the years, definitely.
Because you got, like you say, you got 20 of them, but then you've got a cleaner has to go into all of them, and you can't oversee it, and you can't make sure that every single one of them has got that paint, that scuff that's been painted. And it sounds crazy, but you see the differences.
100%. And that's where you've got to look at life and your businesses, definitely.
So I think this is a good time to talk about sort of advice and learnings. Yeah. Because I think that your story is really good, because you've gone through a lot of stuff where it's different to me, right? I could start my business on a 300 quid laptop, right? Yeah. But I think that how you've done it is it's been from just the scratch of I want to do this. I haven't got the money to do it. I need to borrow the money to do this, and so your advice can be so different to mine. Yeah. And you're learning, and it's different industry. So it's really good to sort of get like tips on and advice on starting out, scaling, and then sort of the consultant side of advice on just I don't know, sticking it out, or that stuff that real gritty stuff,
the
that you need.
gritty stuff. So for me, I think starting out, I think you have to be prepared to do every aspect of your business. So even if you're yourself, for example, you will probably have to, for the first year of when you had your business, was, be the salesperson, do the content. Like, it's a lot of hat wearing. And I think if you're not willing to get stuck in, and I think it's so important that you do understand every aspect of your business, because how are you meant to train your staff to know what level you want? And also you can see what you need to put in place. So for me, definitely the first couple of years of when you're starting out, you need to be in the thick of it, and you need to understand it and put the right systems in place. And I don't think you know what the right systems are unless you're doing it yourself. And you make it the most efficient you can do. Then I would progress on to growth. That is where you need to be looking at your team, your finances, not overstretching, because there's no point in you overstretching, taking out massive loans just because you want to do a second site. You've got to make sure it stacks up number-wise. And also, a lot of business owners that I've come across don't understand the numbers, and that is some of the most important parts of your business, because if your numbers aren't stacking up, you've got no business, and it can go down quite quickly. So before you scale up, I would always say, make sure you're either maximum at your other site. Do you really need to scale up? And make sure your numbers stack up.
And is that something that you would do, or you'd get an accountant to do, or a bit mixture of both?
I think you pay for specialist help where it's required, but at the same time, I have my own cash flow forecast for the Airbnbs. I have an accountant that files everything, but I still have my own cash flow forecast, because I can't expect my accountants to be focusing fully on my business. She's looking after how many clients? I need to see that monthly. There's no point me seeing it at the end of the year and go, oh, there's my profit and loss sheet. I need to be in the thick of it. So for me, I need to see that constant growth. We've had month-on-month growth in the cafe since I've had it, apart from when we were closed with COVID. But that is because I'm looking at those numbers and working towards those numbers and looking at how we've done that and what that looks like. So I think, pay an accountant, but you should definitely have your own understanding of your own business, because it is your business at the end of the day, and you have to take that responsibility.
I think it's really, I agree with you. I think the balance is really important, where you know the day-to-day or the month-to-month, whatever it may be, and they're just there to validate your numbers. You're there. I don't understand the intricacies of what forms you have to fill in, or all that sort of 100%. Stuff. And I make sure that...
Imagine me and you filling out a tax form every time.
Oh,
literally.
God. I
struggle just to do the link.
And same. I struggle to make sure everything's right for my VAT.
I know.
But it's like, I know roughly, they work out my VAT of what I need to pay.
Yeah.
But I know roughly what it should be.
Yeah, that's me
and
every month.
If it's in around a couple £100, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it's never not been. But
that's
at least I still know.
Yeah, and I think it's good for you to forecast ahead. Roughly, you know what VAT is coming in.
Yeah.
If you don't pay your VAT on time or pay your tax on time, a lot of businesses think, I'll pay it next year. That gets you in a mess quite quickly. Whereas for me personally, what works for me is I have a cash flow for the whole year. I have last year's, the year before, etc. I see exactly what our sales are at. I see our labour that goes in each week, that gets reported back to me. Like, yes, all these things take time.
Yeah.
But it's all well and good taking good sales, but if your labour's too high.
Yeah. And you don't want to wait to get a big tax bill that you weren't ready for.
Oh, no.
I'll be honest, I've been stung by that.
Yeah.
My first
year I was. Yeah. That's why I've done. You learn from it, don't you?
I was thinking, I'm good. Right. It was all in my head. I had a spreadsheet, but it was like kind of, that's about that. It's about that, about that. And I got a tax bill and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do here.
Yeah. And that's a horrible feeling. And then you're paying on the back foot. Whereas I learned, that was me. It was my VAT. I used to be surprised by it every time it come round. I'd be like, sorry, what?
Yeah.
And I was almost like, I didn't understand it. And again, never did accounting in my life.
And that's the thing.
You just need to YouTube
VAT is a bit of a weird one, because you kind of get more money than you invoiced. Well, this is how for me.
Well, for you, it's great,
So I get more money than I invoiced.
Yeah.
But then
you have to pay that back.
Pay that back. But if I buy something that has VAT in it, I take off what I... At the start, I was like, this makes no sense. I know. Now, obviously, it's very simple.
Basically, in hospitality, it's just rubbish.
Yeah.
We just lose a lot of money from it.
Yeah.
But that's just me going, I will go off on a massive tangent. Don't get me started on VAT.
Yeah.
And tax.
Yeah.
But I think, for me, yes, pay for expert help, but do definitely have an overshot view of everything, because you also want to know, like for me as a business owner, like we're paying staff, the national insurance went up.
Yeah.
I went into the accountants and was like, this is what I've predicted with the national insurance bill. Is it going to hit us by 80k a year? And she was like, yeah, let's work it out. It was 76. Like, I need to know. Like,
exactly that,
It's horrible. It's facing things like that. But if you can face it.
But you can prepare for something that
you
can
know. Prepare.
I never always say her name wrong, but there's a lady for on Instagram, Jodie Sanchez, I think her name is.
Does ring a bell.
She's American. And she talks about boring businesses. She makes loads of money from boring businesses.
Oh yeah, like the vending machines.
Vending machines and car washes.
Went off a tangent on that. I was looking at vending machines. I did. Yeah. See, we're suckers.
But she always says any business owner or entrepreneur always needs to know exactly what's in their bank account.
100%. I look every day.
At least
every
once
day.
a day.
Well, at least once. I must admit, sometimes it's like 5 times, 6 times. I do it with all my banking.
Yeah.
Every bank I look in daily.
I can tell you like exactly what's in my current one. I've got like separate pots that I do for stuff. I can tell you what's in all of them. And again, I wouldn't have 2, 3, 4 years ago. I wouldn't
even looked.
I'd be like, but also it'd be like I've got loads in there.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't. There's a section of that is VAT. A section of that it goes this, goes this, goes this. So I was spending money because I had loads in my account. Yeah. But it realistically wasn't mine to spend.
Yeah.
So it's learning that.
It's learning that definitely because
it's not your personal bank account either.
No, and you cannot. I cannot treat it like your personal bank account. No. I've never done that. I've always been very good at like this is my separate account. Yeah. That is that. But I do look at my bank account daily, hourly, not hourly. That's a bit sad.
Yeah,
I do look at it a lot though. Yeah, and I go to sleep thinking about it.
Yeah, so do I.
Weird. That helps me sleep. Helps me think about
whatever you need to do.
I know. It's weird. I think about houses and sleeping and off I go.
Yeah.
And what's in the bank.
Yeah.
Got enough money to pay the staff. Yeah. I can sleep. I'm fine.
That's the big one, isn't it?
That's huge, yeah. And I think like I'll never forget interviewing someone and they were leaving. They'd been in their job for 10 years and they were coming to jump on board with us. And she was, this was brand new business. She was petrified. She was like, it was a 16-hour contract. She was like, I have a mortgage to pay. I need, can you guarantee me this job? And I just remember sitting there thinking, oh my God, I've got to find the 16 hours. Like, yeah. And it's mental to think that was 8 years ago. It was huge. And that was the first time I ever felt it. Mm. And I still feel it to this day where you are responsible for making sure the team I have are like...
You're paying for like 20 odd mortgages.
Exactly. And they're just paying their bills and stuff like that. And it's so important. And I always say it's on me to make sure we have the growth. It's on me to make sure we get the sales in. And that's what I work on. And I think... if we have a quieter day, which happens in hospitality, I just have to take that on the chin, and just roll with it. But yeah, you do feel responsibility for that 100%.
But you're also, that's why you have to find that balance when you can't also be in at 8 o'clock and finish at 7 o'clock. And
because there's so much you do out of hours that, like last night we were moving fridges and, there's
always
fun
something
stuff.
going on. Yeah.
Never a boring week.
No, definitely not. And if it was boring, you wouldn't like it anyway.
I wouldn't like it, no. I don't like routines. This is good for us. Fridges, it was a sink the night before till 11:30 because our plumber was in Ibiza. Fair enough. Nice, yeah. So we did it though. Well impressed.
Fair play.
Yeah, we unblocked a pipe. Very exciting.
Then you had to move the fridge because it was...
That just broke along with the till yesterday. Cracking.
All good fun.
It's all good fun.
Right. Not five top tips, but just some top tips that you could kind of give to people that
pressure's on.
Yeah, just doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like, my advice is always just go for it. Like, literally just go for it.
I think people will put things off, especially when you're starting off in a new business. It'll be so... And I said to someone the other day, I was like, it's the scariest part is building it. Once you're up and operating, you can tweak. Yeah. It's that beginning bit. Yeah. So much pressure and so much stress.
I think it doesn't... You put so much pressure on it being perfect at day one.
But you need the issues to happen to work.
There's a little pivot here. And it actually is nowhere near what it was at day one anyway. So
100%.
The pressure of not... Take the pressure off it being... exactly as it needs to be at day one.
Because it's never going to be, and you'll always tweak it. There's no one opens a business and goes, oh, I've smashed it straight away day one. There's always small tweaks, 100%. Yeah. So I think definitely try not to procrastinate too much on getting started and just start. Do not overfinance. I think, like for me, we had to... The cafe, we took it on as it was, and then over the years we've upgraded, we've, made it nicer, we've got new tables, stuff like that. You don't need to do everything straight away. I think make sure you have the money and don't get into loads of debt. Just do it naturally and do it over years. It doesn't need to be done on day one. And I think the customers love that because they come in and go, oh, you've done like new, like we had it this year, we've did new tables in on like our secret garden area. And the customer's like, oh, they look great. like they enjoy seeing
they're
different.
invested in the journey as well. Yeah,
and we haven't got loads of money, so you don't just fire loads of money at things, and it's just being realistic. So that's a big one for me. I definitely think knowing your numbers, start that from day one, because I didn't, and I regret that I didn't do that, because I used to just think, oh, that's a good taking day. But then I realised that I had way too many staff in. We were paying too much for stock. Like, you don't realise, and work out what your running rate is, so what it costs you to run that business for that day, because that's really important, because sometimes you could just be operating at a loss. Be prepared to be on a roller coaster. It is nothing like being employed. You will have the most extreme highs, but you'll also have the most extreme lows. But I love that side to it. But yeah, I think learn from the lows and learn to be resilient and bounce back from those lows, but really do them as a learning curve. And then the other one, I'd just say, be passionate about it. If you're not passionate about what you're going into, I wouldn't bother.
Don't do it,
I wouldn't bother. I think you have to be really passionate about it.
And I think there's an expectation for people to... I don't know of a time that I can think of in my life where there's so many people starting businesses. Everyone seems to be doing it. But that then means that there's an expectation that everyone should be doing it. So if you haven't got the passion for what you're doing, don't think, I want to run a business but don't know what to do. Don't do it.
Don't do it, There's nothing wrong with being employed. Like, not everybody wants to run a business, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And if you don't know what you want to do in doing it, don't do it, because you don't know what you want to do, and it's not going to probably work.
Probably not going to work. And I think, it's stressful. It's not easy. You've got to be a certain type of person to run a business and take on that pressure. And I think that's not for everyone. And there's nothing wrong with that, at all.
No, for sure. Okay, thank you very much. I think I've asked you enough questions. Do you want to do a little where we can buy a book? Where we can find you for consultancy work?
Definitely. So for consultancy work, we are... I'm going to forget it now, aren't I?
You're only 3 weeks in.
Oh my God, I've forgotten it. Tragic. Business consulting with Felicity. I mean, how could I forget that? That is really obvious.
Names in the title,
Wowza. So we're on Instagram at the moment for that. You can also find me on email. So we've got felicity'scoffeeshop@outlook.com. And then the book is actually linked on my bio in my Instagram page. And we follow us on social media. Do you know what? Social media is the only one I'm sort of coming to terms with at the moment. I need to do more on it.
It's a tough one, social media, because if you're not
doing it and
consistent and stuff,
I'm definitely not consistent with
tough. It's a tough one, but in your space, it's unbelievably valuable.
I know.
So we'll thank you very much for coming in. A lot to take away from that, and a lot that it's really good to listen and talk to people that just in a different space, but it's also so similar.
Yeah,
do you know what
absolutely.
I mean? It's a similar
thank you.
thought process and similar
mindset, and
and also similar. They're very different, but the same in terms of difficulties or struggles or things to go through. So I think it's nice to not feel like everyone's doing it in it together. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And I think it's never going to be perfect, but it makes it sound like we've been really depressing, doesn't it? But it can be the most amazing, rewarding thing.
Yeah, for sure.
That I've ever done. It's just a roller coaster at the same time.
Yeah, it's like you've got all these like brain children that you've just grown and watched develop, and it's pretty cool.
It's cool. Developing's key. Yeah, definitely. No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll wrap it up there.
That's a wrap.